Hey everyone, welcome back to more reading in The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Today is Chapter 15, Cultivate Slight Edge Habits. And it begins with a quote from Charles Reed, "Sow an act, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny." And here it's all about using the slight edge and creating what he calls slight edge habits. And these are the habits that you use when trying to apply the slight edge in each area of your life where you're trying to improve and create success. And these have 7 habits, and they mostly sound a little simple, but they're to build on top of everything that we have done up to this point. And so the 7 habits are: first, show up. It goes back to in the previous chapter how he said, be the frog that jumps off the lily pad. When you make a decision, just do it. Show up to what you need to do. Second is show up consistently. Third is cultivate a positive outlook. Fourth is commit to the long haul. 5 is cultivate a burning desire backed by faith. 6, be willing to pay the price. And 7, practice slight edge integrity. Now the first 2, show up consistently, really applied to his daughter when she was going into college. And that she was normally the top of her class in high school, and as a freshman in college, she was basically the same as everyone else. And so she's like, how am I supposed to get an edge on everyone? He's like, well, first, just show up. The first thing you need to do is just show up to class every single day. And not just show up, but show up, like I said, every single day. Show up consistently. Be consistent about this. We're trying to improve and create habits. And those are only created by doing things consistently for an extended period of time. The third is, as you're showing up consistently and you're wanting a desired outcome, then have a positive outlook on it. And this links to his 5th one. Have a burning desire backed by faith. When we want something, we need to have that dig deep inside of us and burn. It creates momentum. But not only that, we need to have such a positive outlook and faith, and that faith is not just simply wishing it or wanting it or hoping for it. It's an actual belief that I will have that. It's looking at what you want and saying, I'm going to have that. That's the kind of outlook that you need to have. And so the third one is to have a positive outlook. People that are successful, they have a positive outlook on life because they see everything as what it's potentially going to be. They see a cup not as half full, but as overflowing. And this goes through, and the way he described it is not just having a positive outlook. It's not just going to get you through all the days, and it's not obliviousness. But it's understanding that good things will happen, and even when the bad things do happen, they allow us to have really truer experiences within the good times. They allow us to more fully feel joy and happiness because we've understand what it is to feel a funk or a loss or a sadness. And now we go on to, be committed to the long haul. And he notes someone that looked at a lot of successful people. And in whatever field they were, with being successful, he says all of them tied to one thing, and that their success came from 10,000 hours of dedicated work to that desired task or whatever they were successful in. And he says 10,000 hours is basically 40 hours a week for 5 years. It's like, so be committed to the long haul. The biggest amount of your success comes later on. We can't be short-sighted and think that we're going to have everything right away. But it's the showing up consistently every single day for an extended period of time that gets us to where we want to be. But we have to be willing to go for a long period of time. And that ties into the next one of... after having the burning desires, that we need to be willing to pay the price. And this isn't actually giving up so many things that you love to get what you want. He says, honestly, once again, we already know it's reading 10 minutes a day, exercising for 15 or 30 minutes a day, doing that extra phone call, saying something nice to somebody else, meditating for 2 minutes a night. If you think about it, all these small things that help us to be successful, they're just short snippets throughout our day. And so really, what are we needing to sacrifice for all those things? Like, it doesn't take that much time, literally. There are other things that do take a little bit of time, like cultivating a skill. That might take a couple hours a day. But honestly, what you need to sacrifice to get to where you want, it's small every single day. The sacrifices are small every single day. But if we don't do them, the sacrifice of our big success is going to be huge and devastating. And some of us already know how that feels. I'm pretty sure many people out there already know how it feels to lose a big sacrifice because they just didn't do the small things they needed to. He does say sometimes you might need to sacrifice something big simply to allocate time to a success, because he said he needed to sacrifice his softball team, which was 10 hours a week, but he needed to focus on his business more. But most of the time, it's just small sacrifices every day to do the small extra things to be successful. And finally, integrity. Sometimes when it's the end of the day and you have just that, maybe the 10 minutes you need to do to read your book, or that extra 15 minutes of just going and walking outside or meditating for 2 to 10 minutes. Sometimes we're so tired that we just don't want to do it. But nobody will know except us. And the biggest thing I feel from learning and reading The Slight Edge is it's always about changing our philosophy. And part of that philosophy is how we view ourselves and our confidence in ourselves. And with integrity, with The Slight Edge, we know that we're liars. We know that we've started so many projects and failed each time. And so we need to have that integrity, not just to be honest with ourselves, but to build the confidence that we can do it. We need to be able to do it, and we have the potential. So we need to have the integrity necessary and build a habit of integrity, of showing up consistently every single day and doing what needs to be done. And so I like this chapter, and I feel like there's a little bit more I need to understand about this and look in what areas of my life I'm not showing up to every single day. I need to check my positive outlook, make sure I'm doing okay. But I'm looking forward to it, so I'll see you all tomorrow with more reading. Have a good night.